For a nature photographer, especially one who photographs birds, Costa Rica is one of the holy grails. A photo trip there has been on my life list for several years. It was time to quit procrastinating, even if I had to go alone. Rhodes Scholar, offering educational travel adventures, had the perfect trip, and I signed up in late July for an early December trip. After mentioning it to friend Dan, he signed up as well, creating the prospect for a trip of a lifetime with a great buddy. This is the first of 3 videos capturing this photographic trip. December came fast. On the morning of departure, on Monday, I was up early, 1:45 a.m. early. I picked Dan up at 2:30 a.m. and we were off to the Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport for a 5:30 a.m. flight to San Jose, Costa Rica via Atlanta. Both legs of the Delta flight were uneventful, but the seat space was small and we were big, resulting in very cramped quarters. I carried on all camera gear, about 50 pounds worth, a CPAP machine, and a carry-on suitcase with enough clothes for 9 days. Little did I know. We arrived in San Jose after lunch and at our hotel about 3 p.m. We came to Costa Rica for the Rhodes Scholar program, Digital Photography in Nature, capturing the best of Costa Rica. Rhodes Scholar was very efficient in our transfer from the airport to the hotel and the hotel check-in. The Rhodes Scholar program manager was at the hotel to meet and greet us. We had a late lunch at the hotel and rested until our orientation meeting and dinner in the early evening. Here's what Rhodes Scholar has to say in their brochure introducing digital photography in nature, capturing the best of Costa Rica. Learn to get the most out of your digital camera as you join experts to practice exposure, composition, and wildlife and landscape techniques in the colorful landscapes of Costa Rica. Our program manager was Carlos Calvo. Calvo is a Costa Rican naturalist and a gifted wildlife photography and photography instructor. At the orientation meeting on the night of our arrival, we met Carlos, introduced ourselves, and listened briefly as he talked about the trip itinerary and basic technical aspects of digital wildlife photography. There were 7 of us, 4 men and 3 women. We were from New Mexico, Ontario, Pennsylvania, Texas, and of course Arkansas. After the lecture, we had dinner and retired to the room for sleep before departing early the next morning. Tuesday morning, a buffet breakfast was at 7 o'clock, followed by Carlos's presentation, Knowing Your Camera and Its Capabilities. Luggage was loaded at 9 o'clock, and the bus was headed north for our first stop at the La Paz waterfall, high in the cloud forest jungle north of San Jose. The 121-foot high waterfall was immediately adjacent to the highway. Just a few kilometers further north on Costa Rica Highway 126, a stop was made for lunch at a local roadside restaurant. There, we observed the 229-foot high San Fernando waterfall across a deep, wide valley. Also, many birds were nearby at feeding stations just off the deck of this wonderful restaurant in the cloud forest. From the cloud forest jungle, the tour proceeded to Puerto Valle de Sarapiquí for a river tour of the small section of the Sarapiquí River. Green iguanas, howler monkeys, and two-toed sloths were seen, as well as numerous bird life. And then it was off to our lodging for the next 3 nights, the Rainforest Lodge, overlooking the boulder-strewn whitewater of the Sarapiquí River. It seems to happen every time I travel outside the U.S. Just after midnight last night, I woke up with an upset tummy. Hoping it was just a 24-hour bug, I tried sleeping to little avail. I had progressed to the point that it was the worst stomach virus I've ever experienced, with intensive vomiting, diarrhea, and fever. Nevertheless, I made it out to breakfast and then traveled to a nature pavilion for bird photography. Seeing my pallid face, the driver offered to take me back to the lodge, and I quickly accepted. That pretty much ended my day, as I missed a couple of lectures, lunch, and a guided nature walk. I proceeded to sleep 19 hours. Sarapiquí is Costa Rica's northern lowlands. Traditionally, the Sarapiquí region was a farming and ranching area. Still, large pineapple and banana plantations abound, as well as scattered strawberry fields. It is a region characterized by its vibrant rainforest and wildlife. It is home to several natural reserves, national parks, and protected areas. These lowlands have several rivers of great affluence and historical importance, both slow-moving and full of rapids. Ecotourism is big here, in addition to adventures such as rafting and tropical rainforest exploration. I slept on and off through the night, experiencing more atrocious symptoms of the terrible virus. Thankfully, I gradually began to feel a bit better. I ate a very light breakfast of dry toast, after which we traveled to a macaw rescue center. Macaw Farm is a private initiative that has turned into a successful breeding center for both the scarlet and great green macaws. The great green macaw was near extinction in some places, but populations are now coming back thanks to private initiatives such as the Macaw Rescue Center. We were delighted to see and photograph macaws in flight, even if they were flying between feeding stations. We were then treated to fresh pineapple. I ate none for obvious reasons, and observed white-faced monkeys swinging from limbs in nearby trees. Back at the Selva Verde Rainforest Lodge, a world-renowned eco lodge committed to advancing the practice of sustainable tourism, a few of us hung out at the feeding station to observe and photograph many colorful species of birds. After lunch, we had a guided walk in the dark jungle at the Selva Verde's property. It was so dark, in fact, that it was near difficult to get decent exposure on photographs. Tomorrow, we leave this veritable lowland rainforest paradise as we head to Death Mountain and beyond. This photography trip was proving to greatly exceed expectations, as we've already photographed waterfalls, sloths, monkeys, caimans, iguanas, and too many species of birds to mention, let alone the myriad species of plants. Next, it's off to Death Mountain. Thank you for watching. Prayers for a great week. Goodbye for now, and connect with us again for future episodes.